And we're back. Okay, cutoff central, you know. Alright, so we talked about bonding, we've talked about fusion. Let's talk about some other stuff, shall we? Parched, I'm sorry. I'm so parched today, I don't know why. I've checked my sugar too, so I'm cool. So I'm not DKing, but who knows. Alright, that's diabetic ketoacidosis for those of you that are medical junkies or watch a lot of Quincy or something, I don't know. Alright, so let's talk about tracking, okay? Well, Johnny, what do you mean by tracking? Okay, so basically, how many of you had a sew-in? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you have known someone who's had a sew-in? Raise your hand. Alright, so, for those of you that don't know, you're about to be in the know. So what tracking is that basically, the person's hair is braided in either a circular motion or a zigzag motion. Okay? Their hair is braided into cornrows. The braids are then, if their hair hangs a little bit lower, it's then usually sewn into the cornrow so it's flat as possible, and then the tracks are sewn to the braids, okay? You're basically making a base for which the braids can be attached to. So let me read you the technical term for tracking, alright? Bear with me and then I'll fill in the blanks. In tracking, natural, wow, illiterate as hell. I'm a college student, for real. I'm educated and I can't say natural. Okay, natural tresses are first braided around the head in a concentrated circles. The braids are sewn down, the extensions are sewn to the braids. 8 to 15 tracks are needed for a full head. Care for this style as you would your natural hair, washing at least once a week. Okay, so let me explain to you. Yes, you can wash your hair once a week. You can style it and all this stuff. Should you put product in your weave? No, not really. Occasionally there are special circumstances. We'll get to that later. Okay, gosh, I'm so, woo, now I said all that, hold on. Okay, hair is braided in circle motion, and then the tracks are sewn to the braids. And well, Johnny, how do they close it? They use a closure piece. We'll talk about that later. God, let me get through something before you ask questions. Okay, continuing on in our reading. Follow along in the book if you have it. To sew the weave hair, the hair must be braided into cornrows, which we've already addressed that. The hair must also be braided into a zigzag shape to make things easier and quicker. This is what it says, and I got this from Wikipedia, okay, this technical term for tracking. I think it really just depends on the skill of your stylist on how fast it goes. I don't think it really matters as far as if it's a circle weave, if it's done zigzag, if it's done diagonal, whatever. I think it really just depends on your stylist and how fast they are. My girl Jessica can sew weave in lightning speed. Like if there was a weave sewing contest, that chick would win hands down. Period. Point blank. She would. She'd win hands down. Just to let you know, because she's that fast. You can leave your hair out, okay? You can leave portions of your hair out. So for example, if you're gonna have a part down the middle, usually what happens is that the stylist, we're gonna use me as a mannequin as best we can, would braid up until maybe that point, and then there would be a part there, and then there would be hair to cover the tracks there. You see what I'm saying? You feel me? If you don't, get a diorama. I know you're like, damn, you're kind of mean today. I'm sorry, you guys. It's just been rough, and I want to give you guys these videos. That's why. Ooh, lemon curd. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I know y'all like, really? Really? What's going on? Really? School does that, girl. It's the midterms. And Thanksgiving's coming around the corner. And my birthday. Okay. Alright, November 19th, y'all. November 19th. Send gifts. Okay, so that's basically what tracking is. Basically tracking or sewing. A sew-in is what it's done. It's trying to think. Sometimes hair is sewn horizontally, like just across like that. It just really kind of depends. The thing about sewing or tracking in general is that, you know, depending again on how good your stylist is, depending on you know, the shape of your head and some other things. I mean, it may look lumpy, it may not look lumpy. Like mine didn't look lumpy, but I don't know. I really wish I had more to say about tracking, because I don't. No, I do. The thing about sew-ins is that they can appear to be lumpy. That's one of the, gosh, it is so dark. I'm so sorry. Is one of the let's see if I can, I'm going to play with my lighting effects while I'm talking to you. The thing is that, can you see me now? Okay, no, I don't look too cheesy there. All right. The thing about sew-ins is that really there's a lot of factors that have to be taken into account, which is you have to look at, you know, how big your nugget is. You do. How much hair you're using. How big of the braids are. Because I've seen stylists that like make dookie cornrows and then sew hair in and think and looks crazy, right? So, you know, my rule of thumb is that if you're going to track hair in, stylists, listen, okay? If you're going to track hair in, make the cornrows only big enough for the wefts to fit on, okay? Because that small of a braid, it looks more natural. And also, if you're going to do a weave in a circular motion where people can manipulate it, like pull their hair up and stuff, make the braids even smaller so that the weft is attached to it, but it has flex and give, so it's able to bend. I had a stylist years ago do a sew-in like that on me, and it was fly. It was fierce. It was. Then I got a net weave by Jessica, and that went downhill. But still, she's number 2. Okay, Cosmo, wherever you're at, girl, your weave is still up there. Actually, you share a spot with Jess. That's how tough it was. But that's tracking. Okay, in a nutshell, that's seriously tracking. All right, so we're gonna go to netting. Now, netting, basically, what people go, well, what's netting? Are you ready for this? It's tracking with a net. There you go. Now, what do you mean, Johnny? Okay, so basically what happens is they braid your hair up, right? And then they take a net, hair net, okay? And then they sew it, not just a run-of-the-mill, how you doing hair net. You see people at, like, the Chicken Shack or White Castle, and no. Like, this is a net. It's a breathable net. The holes are a little bit smaller, more closer together. It's a tighter weave net that is then sewn to the cornrows. And then after that, you know, if you got some hair out, you know, like they cut around and, you know, so that whatever. But, okay, yeah. And then the hair is sewn to the net so that it's less stress on your hair. That's all netting is. That is it. It's nothing, you know, special or anything. Now, the thing is that when you get netting, or when you do netting, for those of us that are bootleg cosmetologists and don't have legitimate licenses, you want to make sure that the person's head or that your hair is completely dry so that your hair doesn't mildew, because your hair will mildew. Hair gets mildew, people. It happens. And let me tell you, human hair that is mildewed is not cute. I promise you, it's not cute. Okay, so let's review. I know you're like, wow, netting was like really short, but I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. If you go online and you Google in like sew-ins or like hair weaving techniques, like usually you will see a tracking technique done with a net nowadays. Nets are more common because, again, it protects your hair. It doesn't... Ichabod? Okay, I don't know what's going on. So, I think it goes. Some of my dog, I don't know. It's Halloween. Woo! Okay. But yeah, netting is one of those things that you will see more and more when you Google things like hair weave or sew in or anything like that. Alright, so let's review. Let's talk about what we've went over so far. Okay. We've talked about netting. We're going to do it in reverse order. We talked about netting. Uh-oh, y'all. Is he going to be on camera? No, he's not. Oh, he's getting a bag. Damn it! The elusive Scotty eludes us again. Okay. We've talked about netting. We've talked about tracking. We've talked about hot and cold fusion. And we've talked about bonding. Alright. So coming up in the next video, we're going to power our way through. Okay? I know you're like, what? For real? You're going to shorten us? No, really. We're going to kind of power our way through. And the reason why is because the next sections, with the exception of tree braiding, are pretty self-explanatory to a degree. Well, no, I take that back. Microlinking and Eurolinking are not. But we're going to talk about microlinking, Eurolinking, tree braiding, lace extensions, and clip-in and clip-on hair pieces. All right? So stay tuned, and I'm going to come back, and you guys are going to vid that. Okay? See you in a minute.